Hi, my name's Shane Hintze, and I'm super excited to be here with you today. I get to introduce many of the supplements that doTERRA has on the market today, and which I believe are some of the best supplements you can get on planet Earth, period. They're very cost effective, they're very efficient, they change people's lives, and they do this by creating a healthier environment for our bodies to thrive. You know, when I first started using doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack, which will be the first one that I talk about, I was a little bit skeptical, and I took it for about a month, and I told my wife, I said, I don't really feel a difference. All these people are saying, hey, I feel so much better, I feel less groggy in the morning, I have more energy, I have more clarity of mind, I just overall feel better. And after about a month, I said, you know, I'm just not feeling it. And she said, very wisely, well, then don't take it. So I stopped taking it, and I was off of it for about 3 days, and I began to feel groggy and just kind of sluggish. And I said, I wonder if this could be the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So I went back and I started taking it again, and I've never been off of it since. It is a fantastic product. Okay, so let's jump in and talk about Lifelong Vitality Pack. Lifelong Vitality Pack comes in with 3 different pills. You have the Alpha CRS, the Z Omega, and the VMZ Microplex. 3 pills, easy to take, extremely good value. Let's talk about, first and foremost, the VMZ Microplex. I love this blend. I love the nutrients that it gives us and the minerals that it gives us in a food format. Now, our bodies were made to ingest food, to extract nutrients out of it, to distribute it throughout the entire body so that we could have energy and so that our cells could function properly, so our brain can work and our heart can beat. And, you know, over the years, we have mingled with foods and we process more and more foods. And even if we were to grow something in our garden, if we don't have the right environment, we still are not going to get the full nutritional value that plants from yesteryear used to have. You know, I grew up out in the country, kind of, in Utah before it got filled in with lots and lots of houses. And my grandfather had 2 acres. It wasn't a lot, but he had a 1/4 acre that was a garden and an 1.5 acre that was all orchard. And I remember going and having to weed that all summer long, and it drove me crazy. But when fall came and it was time to harvest the plants, we got corn and peas and potatoes. We got apples and peaches and apricots and plums, tomatoes, beans. I mean, it was a plethora of food on our table. And I remember when we would harvest the corn, we had these little knives, round knives that would pull the corn off of. And of course we would bottle it or freeze it. And I could eat pounds and pounds and pounds of corn. Well, time goes on and I can't eat corn today. We know that there are a lot of different factors involved with how corn is grown today. And I simply can't eat it. It chews my gut up. So I do have to pay attention to what I eat, and I have to supplement because I'm not getting the nutrition from the foods today. So let's look at some of the ingredients in the VMZ Microplex, or Microplex VMZ, and just know that it's coming to you in a whole food. Imagine being able to extract nutrients out of broccoli or beans or corn, tomatoes, whatever we can get nutrients out of, pulling that out, wrapping it in a yeast, and presenting it to your body as a whole food. It's a non-active yeast, so don't worry, but that is exactly what you're getting with VMZ Microplex. You're putting a micronutrient into your body in the form of food, and your body absorbs it and utilizes it. All of the vitamins, of course, A, B, C, D, specifically D3, which we know we need for a healthy immune system. Vitamin E, K, thiamine, riboflavin, the list goes on. Lots of B vitamins. Calcium, iron, iodine, right? Take a look at the back of your bottle and look at these ingredients. They are truly presented to us in an optimal way for our body to absorb those nutrients. I've heard numbers as high as 93% absorption and efficiency in these. I don't have science to back that up, but I do know that we get a lot out of those vitamins and minerals. The next product I want to talk about are the Z Omega or X Omega, depending on where you're from. This is a fantastic product that brings us the omega-3 fatty acids. Not only do we get high levels of DHA and EPA omega-3 fatty acids, but we get them in a manner that our body absorbs them and utilizes them. I will talk about a little bit of science related to this, but I want to kind of create a baseline as to why omega-3 fatty acids are so important to us. In America, our ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s is about 15 to 1. To give you an idea of where it should be 1 to 1. So we know that we're out of balance. Too many of any one thing is a bad thing. So omega-6s are your saturated fatty acids that come from beef, pork, other things that just we know aren't all that healthy for us. So if we have an outstanding balance of 15 to 1, number one, we're going to have to straighten that up, and we can do that through diet, and I would suggest that we all try to clean up our diets. Many of you are doing a great job, and I really commend you for doing so. You're an example to me, and I know that I need to do a little bit better. However, in the meantime, as I'm cleaning up my diet and I'm supplementing with omega-3s, I'm balancing that out. And of course, that creates an environment that's good for the heart, it's good for the blood, it's good for the brain. Omega-3 fatty acids keep your machine nice and oiled and functioning correctly. What I like from a scientific standpoint on the omega-3 fatty acids is nanosomal lipid assimilation. You don't need to remember it, but just know this. You swallow that pill, it goes through the gut into the intestines before it opens. When it opens, we have a water layer that's between the inside of the intestine and the wall. And that water layer is where this nanosomal lipid assimilation comes into play, because as the pill opens up, all those omega-3 fatty acids, instead of just floating on the top and not being able to get through that water level, start to assimilate into the water. And once it does that, it can go through the intestinal wall and be absorbed throughout the entire body. This is huge. How many of you have taken another brand of fish oil and big yellow horse pills, and you take that and you go about your day, and a little bit later you get the fish burp? If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about, and it's horrible and it sticks with you all day. Because of the process that I just mentioned, you won't have that fish burp. It doesn't even open in your stomach, it goes to your intestines. The other thing that's great about our Z Omega product is the size. It's a very manageable size, it's small. And you've noticed that they're red and not yellow like most fish oils. That's because of a product called astaxanthin. Go look up astaxanthin. It is an incredible product. You know, salmon, it occurs naturally in salmon when they're going up and they have that nice pink flesh. That is where astaxanthin comes from, but also it comes from different algae. And when it comes from these algae, it's actually providing UV protection for the algae from the sun. And I've noticed that when I take the omega-3s, it boosts my own UV immune protection. So why don't you check that out and give it a try? Okay, last, certainly not least, we have the Alpha CRS. Alpha CRS is all about cellular vitality. When we talk about cellular vitality, we have to talk about oxidation and nutrition or energy. Alpha CRS is the perfect combination to fight all that oxidation and also provide a vehicle for which we give our cells optimal nutrition. Now, I want you to go back to 7th grade biology, and you drew a cell, right? We had the membrane, and then inside of that membrane were these little floaty things that look like hairy pills, and then in the center was a nucleus, and inside of that was the DNA. Well, these little hairy pill looking things are our mitochondria. And those mitochondria take that energy, take the sugars, natural occurring sugars, and turn it into ATP or energy that our body can use. It makes the cell run efficiently. And so when we have all these cofactors, we've got a good ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. We have the vitamins and minerals, and now we are working on with alpha CRS, antioxidation, I got this all straight, antioxidants as well as nutrition. We create an environment for our body to run optimally, to feel better, to have more clarity, to simply enjoy life more because we are living as healthy as we can. Now remember when I took my hard drive and I had to get it fixed, had I known that that were going to happen, I would have backed it up prior to then. Well, with our bodies, maybe we've made some bad choices in the past, but we now know that we can make really good choices, and we can do that very easily with doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. I still want you to eat right, to rest and manage your stress, to exercise, and to use doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. Get it on your LRP. That's the safest way to order, or the best way to order your Lifelong Vitality Pack, because that's where you get the best deal. And we all want the best deal. Now, before I go, I want to talk about one other product that's in line with the Lifelong Vitality, and that is the Daily Nutrient Pack. The Daily Nutrient Pack is a fantastic alternative to Lifelong Vitality, because what we have is we have the Microplex MVP. It's a little different formulation. It's optimized for those vitamins and minerals for a larger population. And of course, we have the Z Omegas in here. It's a great option to maybe add the Deep Blue polyphenols or Mito 2 Max, Terrazyme, GX Assist, PB Assist, the phytoestrogen, the bone nutrient, right? There are lots of different options that you can have to add to this. And so you get the best of the Lifelong Vitality Pack, plus you get to customize it with other nutrients or other supplements that are perfect for you. So in closing, I want to tell you, doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack, it changes lives. It will change your life. I want you to be committed to taking it every day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening of each. So that's 6 pills in the morning, 6 pills at night. You can do it. Let's talk about the new Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. This was introduced at convention last year, and I'm not a person that has a lot of aches and pains. But every once in a while, because I can feel it in the middle of my back and it comes right up here. And a lot of times I can just use cypress, frankincense, or the Deep Blue rub and put that on my back. But one day I said, let's see how good this thing is. And so I took 2 Deep Blue polyphenol complexes. I did not use any oils. And within a matter of 45 minutes, all that tension, all that frustration was gone. Let's talk about Mito 2 Max, one of my favorite products. When doTERRA delivered this and announced it at convention a couple of years ago, I'm the type of person, I can get up early in the morning and I can go till late at night and have 4 or 5 hours of sleep and be just fine. I've never really lacked energy, but again, now that I'm entering the prime of my life, sometimes that does happen. Anyway, they announced this at convention a couple of years ago, and I said, oh, this is great. This is really cool. Becky's got a big event tonight. I'm going to be in charge of registration and coordinating and all the logistics, and it's going to go late into the night. I need one of these. So we had bought our convention ticket, and our convention pack, and I opened it up and I pulled out these two Mito 2 Max, popped them in my mouth, and went about doing the event. And I tell you, I felt great during the whole thing. After the event's over, I go up and we crawl in bed in our hotel room, and I laid there, and I laid there, and I laid there, and finally fell asleep at about 3:30 in the morning. I probably didn't need to take two. What I love about Mito 2 Max is it's giving you natural energy. There are no stimulants in here that are going to give you that really quick, immediate rush of energy and then give you the die-off. This is long-term sustained energy in a very natural form that our cells are just eating up and saying, okay, this is great, let's go. Some of the ingredients in here that are very important are alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. There is quercetin, which of course is great, ginseng. All of these, as we know, are very high in energy, but again, very natural. However, the doctor said, no more soda. I will get to Slim and Sassy. That's where this came in. I don't drink coffee or tea, but back then I was drinking a lot of soda. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after lunch, you know, the downer starts to come. You've eaten all this food, and now you're starting to get tired. Everybody go get their coffee. I'd get my Dr. Pepper. Well, kidney stones were a motivation to quit. And I went off soda cold turkey that day. Slim and Sassy helped me tremendously to do that. 2 o'clock would come. I had bottles and bottles of Slim and Sassy oil in my desk because that was pre these gel caps. And I would go get a glass of water and I'd put about 8 or 10 drops in there. I'd chug that down and I was good. I had the energy that I needed. I did not have the craving that normally hits, and truly it saved my baby factor, my pain factor because of these kidney stones to get off of that soda. And of course, after about 3 weeks, I stopped craving soda, but I've never stopped craving Slim and Sassy. It's fantastic. Okay, let's talk about the new Serenity Restful Complex. I don't have a problem sleeping. However, many people do. My father is one of them. He gets in bed and his mind starts going and thinking, and he has a hard time relaxing. The Serenity Restful Complex is perfect to slow the body and the mind down, to help you relax, to get a good night's sleep. We all know the importance of sleep. Sleep is important for our brain to kind of flush everything out during the day. When we dream, we're cleaning things up. Our brain is fantastic, and sleep is an integral part of it. Now, if you listen to experts, you'll hear a varying amount of how much is the right amount. Well, I'm going to tell you, your body knows. I like to use the sun, right? When the sun goes down and I have to flip on lights, that should be a time where I stop using electronics and maybe read a book and start to shut the body down. To assist me in doing that, I'll pop one of these and everything rests. When the sun comes up, that's when I get up. In the summertime, I don't need as much sleep. Obviously, the days are longer. In the wintertime, I do sleep a little bit more. But use your body as the guide and the compass to direct you. And if you're having a hard time slowing the mind down and getting to a point where your body can go to sleep, try the Serenity Restful Blend. Okay, I think I've hit all the supplements that I want to hit. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to plead with you because I believe in these products so much. Give them a try, trust in them, use them consistently. If you've heard Dr. Hill talk about how we use oils, I would suggest that the same principle goes with using essential oils as supplements. And what I mean by that is if I'm using the On Guard Plus to ward off seasonal threats, how I would use that is I would take it in the morning. I know that I'm taking taking that internally, and so I'm going to have a high dosage that might last an hour or two. I'll take it again at hour 2 and again at hour 4, and I'll take it consistently throughout the day. I love doTERRA's supplement line. I think that you'll love them too. Give them a try, use them, trust them. Get them on your loyalty rewards orders, specifically Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is where you'll get the best deal. Look for them as products of the month, but make them a part of your cabinet and use these oils, and you will find that doTERRA supplements our lifestyle in a way that nobody else can.